Next question, please. I'm on a very tight schedule.
What is your favorite Destiny DLC?
Oh God.
That's a good question.
Oh man. I think
It's gotta be Forsaken.
Forsaken.
I'll have to go Forsaken.
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 Favorite Destiny DLC is
Forsaken.
Forsaken.
Probably Forsaken.
Yeah, probably Forsaken, just because that was the DLC that got me back into playing Destiny in general, like being a part of the franchise, and it was all because of like my coworkers and stuff. They all got back on the game, that got me into the game, and then, you know, then I met all my friends and just met a bunch of people, and just that started everything for me and just where I am now. So that was a big DLC for me.
I think it's got to be a tie between Forsaken and Taken King.
Unfortunately, we don't allow for ties here.
No ties? I got to pick one?
You have to.
Sophie's choice, huh? One of my children has to die.
Exactly. So
Oh,
which
man.
one are you stabbing with a knife?
All right, I guess see you later, Taken King. Oh,
Ta-
that feels so bad.
Taken King is the favorite, or bye-bye Taken
No.
King?
Forsaken's the favorite.
Okay,
Forsaken
so
is the
Forsaken's
favorite.
the favorite.
Absolutely, yeah.
What's the single best thing about Forsaken?
The Dreaming City is my favorite area they've ever created, and so that blew me away when I first saw it. And the Last Wish raid is just incredible. I remember doing that with friends, and it was so fun.
I remember walking into the Dreaming City for the first time after going to the Tangled Shore, and there was just nothing I'd experienced like that before. Like where you just walk in and have no idea what to expect, and that's like where the end game started. So for me, that has to be my favorite.
What's something about Forsaken that was really, really, really absolutely incredible that kind of flew under the radar a little bit?
Definitely the idea of like having a 3-2 split with Transcendent Blessings and Riven's Curse. I mean, there's always like raid mods kind of, but raid mods that like, just directly increase your damage is kind of like, I don't think we've had anything like that since. With Garden, there was like the Relay Defender, I think. Just across the board, like a 26% damage increase is like huge, and a lot of people don't really care about that unless you're like optimizing stuff.
You know, I think we think about the Dreaming City as an aesthetic space, right? But I think what everybody doesn't really remember so much is that was a complete surprise. None of us had any idea it was coming. We knew the Tangled Shore was coming. We knew the Barrens were coming. We knew we were going on a hunt. We were going to go on this kind of like reefy style thing. And then all of a sudden you complete this quest and it's like, oh yeah, you're going to go to that big giant glowy city in the sky. And you're like, what are you talking about? And then you're in the Dreaming City all of a sudden. So aesthetics aside, raid aside, the experience of being there aside, the thing for me was it exists. And when you thought you were done the expansion, there was a whole nother expansion in it. And it was, oh man, incredible.
So Forsaken as the campaign, where you fight all the Barons, right?
Yes.
What's the most memorable Baron fight?
I really enjoyed the sniper, you know, going through the world, killing the sniper, and then you get in that arena and he's kind of like bouncing all over the place. That one was really cool to me.
Was it Mindbender? I think the one where it had its own Ascendant Realm, whatever one that was, I totally forget. That was awesome. An experience that just set that fight completely apart from everything else in the DLC.
Maybe the Trickster?
Probably the Trickster.
Yeah, so if I was someone who had never done that, kind of give me like a quick rundown of like what happens in that mission.
Imagine you just get the biggest letdown ever in your life, but in video game form and over again because you never learned your lesson. So
You just keep grabbing the exotics.
yeah, you just keep grabbing the exotics and somehow you just keep exploding. You're just, man, maybe this is an actual exotic. Nope.
And what is your favorite DLC in Destiny?
Okay, this is Taken King.
Favorite Destiny DLC? Destiny or Destiny 2?
Either. Across the entire franchise.
Taken King forever takes the cake. I was in college and I played it non-stop.
I would have to say Taken King.
Taken King.
Taken King.
Favorite DLC would probably have to be Taken King.
Taken King.
Probably Taken King, just because like that was the one I played the most.
By far, Taken King.
Taken King, 110%.
Taken King.
Taken King.
Favorite DLC, Taken King.
favorite Destiny DLC, easiest question for me was Taken King.
For me, my favorite DLC in the Destiny franchise was Taken King. I think it set the standard for everything that we have now in Destiny. The best things that we have had are all based on Taken King.
There was something about Taken King that changed how the entire game felt to me. And it felt, you got this like real sense of like how dark, I guess, the game was to a certain point. There was something about it that made it feel like the strike, a la cool, the Dark Blade. That was one of the coolest things I think I ever did in Destiny. It was actually kind of scary because you got dropped into a room in the dark and you were like, what am I doing? I guess it amassed to something bigger at that point for me because it wasn't just just a game I was playing. It was something I was like more invested in.
That was back then when I spent time gaming with my dad, and my dad got into Destiny with the Taken King, so that was really a fond memory of with that DLC.
What's the most underappreciated part about Taken King?
I'd have to go with like the calcified fragments and the like secret quests you would do for them, like just secret encounters to get them. I don't know, it was really just really fun.
The way that the leveling system was set up was so good because like you needed each piece of item, but since the raid was like end game, you needed it to like get the last piece from the raid. Like most people needed like a class item, right? That basically gave you another thing to do. Like, oh snap, I can keep on doing this. But the people that didn't play end game, didn't care enough for it, they just went back to Crucible. They did what they did the day ones or whatever. They got the completion, and then they just went on about. And it was neat, right? Because in Destiny 2, you can get your end game pieces from anywhere.
I loved the new enemy race that was, introduced. That was completely new for me. I hadn't played a game where that was something that happened. So, I think a lot of people were a little annoyed with the Taken, like, teleporting everywhere, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Honestly, I know a lot of people talk about how much they like the Dreadnought and stuff, but I still feel as though the Dreadnought doesn't get as much credit as it does, mainly because now that we've seen Destiny 2 with the Leviathan, I feel like Dreadnought was basically Leviathan if it was a patrol area, and I just think it's so cool that they turned an entire ship into a patrol area. I still think it's cool to this day. It's just awesome.
You get to bring one strike from Taken King over to D2. What are we doing?
Oh, between the Vaughn brothers and Louoh, it's super hard. I'd honestly probably flip a coin and be okay with either.
I'll let you have that. I'll let you have both of them. I'll let you have both of them. You're honest about it. You're willing to flip a coin.
If it rolled on heads, if it rolled on tails, I would be okay with either.
What is your favorite Destiny DLC?
Rise of Iron.
Oh, that's gonna have to be Rise of Iron for sure.
Rise of Iron.
I'm gonna have to say Rise of Iron only because Wrath of the Machine was a great raid and I grinded that shit, and it was my first full DLC that I played through in Destiny franchise.
Rise of Iron, because the raid was the best in the game. Like there's no other raid that comes close to that.
What are the best things about Rise of Iron? The best like specific pieces of content?
I really liked Felwinter's Peak as a destination. I really liked the story in Siva, especially the raid. I thought the raid was very good in Rise of Iron, Wrath of the Machine.
What is your favorite DLC in Destiny?
I think Beyond Light. I like Stasis.
Probably Beyond Light, just because that's the DLC I've had the most immersion with everything from start to finish.
I'm probably gonna say Beyond Light. That was the first time that I got a raid group together. We have a raid group of 6 dads together to do it, and that was our first big DLC to do as our raid group, and we really dove in with DSC, so that's probably gonna be my favorite one.
Something about Europa, the snow, it was wintertime. And, yeah, we look back in the moment, we hated Stasis. But when you think back on it now, it was kind of fun, right? The chaos, it was a little fun there.
Well, it was my first time playing the game at like a DLC release, so like the queue time, the waiting, the hanging out in Discord with friends, getting excited to jump right into the story, to get the weapons, to get the subclass, like that was really cool.
Which is funny because like most people hate the queue times, and
I
like
know.
that's usually like a bad thing. But you're like, oh, but like it built the like being a part of it, like was cool.
Not the getting weaseled, but just like the excitement, waiting with friends, seeing every new trailer come out for all the new stuff to come. Like I like that a lot.
You got the whole experience, for bad and for good.
Yeah, exactly.
What is your favorite DLC in Destiny?
My favorite Destiny DLC is House of Wolves.
I'd have to go House of Wolves. It was huge for a bunch of Destiny creators, made their careers from that. I mean, Dr. Lupo, would he have been where he is if he hadn't started playing Trials and streaming Trials? Like maybe he would have gone to Fortnite right away, but you never know. And Crafty and all the OG kind of Trials streamers, it was huge, and the energy around House of Wolves and Trials was just super exciting.
The thing I loved the most about the House of Wolves was the story. I thought that it was short but very compelling. Prison of Elders was great, but most importantly, Trials of Osiris.
What was it about House of Wolves that really like kind of ignited that in you, that really made you want to improve, really made you want to help and get more involved?
I was just really enjoying the content. So Destiny was like the first multiplayer online kind of game I've ever played. So being able to like do raids to me was a totally like random new concept where I could go in, fight against enemies, but like with other people helping me, and then like we'd have to do certain mechanics together or do whatever you have to do in the raid to make it work. It was just like cool to me that I could work with other people to get like a main objective done all together.
My favorite Destiny DLC is Curse of Osiris.
I'll let you explain that one all you want.
For me, Destiny PvE has always been something I enjoyed, but never really been the main focus of the game for me. And within PvP, I personally like a fair and more competitive sandbox. Sure, I think a lot of Destiny is that little bit of bullshit that you get from supers, like all of the abilities, special weapons, heavy, etc. The fast movement speed, all those things together. But for me, I think the time I most enjoyed PvP was when the game was in its most competitive state, which was Season 2. Season 2 was before all of the major buffs to movement speed, a couple buffs to abilities and exotics in Season 3, and it still had a little bit of spice from new exotics coming into Season 2 for things like such as Gemini Jesters. We had the Trials of the Nine weapons in Season 2 were fantastic. And overall, the tournament scene at the time was really competitive and really fun to play, in my opinion.
What is your favorite DLC in Destiny?
Ooh, I'd have to say the Dark Below.
What is the single best part about the Dark Below?
It's the Crota raid, like effectively, is when you're the drop down into just the abyss basically, and it's just dark and you can't see anything, and everyone's like, where the hell do we go? That was easily one of my favorite parts.
What is your favorite DLC in Destiny?
Can I say a season instead of an expansion? Is that allowed?
Yeah, that's fine.
Season of Dawn.
So what's the coolest part about Season of Dawn? Like what's number one about it?
I really enjoyed the story of season. That was the first season after the Red War that I actually really got into the story. Like I was hyped to play it every single week. I logged on at 5 a.m. New Zealand time because that's when reset was, just to see if there was more story.
I would say Opulence, to be honest.
Dude, let's go.
Opulence
Finally,
was crazy.
Opulence. Why is Opulence the best one?
So you had Menagerie, which was really good for like replayability and stuff like that. You had the chest farm, which was not intended, but that was also super fun. It was just themed around like gold and like treasure and rewards and stuff like that, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
DLC has to be Season of Drifter, but that's for personal reasons.
And what are those personal reasons?
Basically, a lot of folk backed out that season. They got fed up. They didn't like Gambit, and I took it upon myself to hard grind that season on my own pretty much. So it was a bit of a journey for me getting really hardcore into the game at the time, and it's just always stood with me is that one season I just did on my own without the people that I'd played with for so long. Bit of a lone wolf.
Awesome. And what is your favorite DLC and why? Please be sure to let us know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next episode of 50 Guardians. A big thanks to all of the individuals to the left of me that made this video possible as well. Please be sure to check out their content platforms linked in the description below. This video series is a collaborative community effort to showcase a myriad of opinions and takes on hot Destiny topics. Destiny is a game all about community, and our goal was to showcase a significant portion of that community in a fun and creative way. This is not a one-off thing either. We have a total of 12 episodes planned already, but would love to do more. So please let us know what question or questions you would love to see us ask the Destiny community down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.